Hey everybody, of course this is Kathy with Kincaid Special Creations with my weekly Facebook Live. This week we are doing West Virginia Wednesday, and we are going to discover some facts about West Virginia that I did not know until I looked them up. So I thought I'd bring them out, see if anybody else knows them. So we'll just hang around, wait for everybody to get in. Whew, it has been, hey Tim, how was your day at work today, buddy? Hope it went well. Did you get any rain? Trying to get me up so I can see the comments. Not yet. Let's see. Yeah, there I am. Need to get me one of those screens that makes me look little, because this one don't do it. You definitely know I'm yours, right? I let chickens out today, which means I have to go back out there and put them back up in a little bit. But I felt sorry for them. They've been in there almost a week, so I did let them out. Hey, it looks like Brian's in. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I thought that was you. I see your avatar come up, bud. So, how was your day at work today? Or did you work today? I can't ever keep up with your schedule. It is exceedingly muggy this evening. We may get some of that rain they keep telling us every day we're going to get. That Mandy said they got it in Summersville yesterday, but we did not get it here. Hey, Jensu. Hey, Stevie. I went on a search of some facts about West Virginia. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to shake you. That I found some I didn't even know about. But some I did. Some I had heard but didn't know the backstory of. So, and yes, Stevie, next week we are going to do acrylic pouring. I've got several projects lined up. As soon as I get all this done with the YouTube, I'm going to head out and start videoing several projects that I got lined up for the acrylic pouring. So hopefully they'll dry by next week. That's the only thing with acrylic pouring, where you pour so much paint on stuff, it takes a bit for it to dry. But when it does dry, it dries pretty hard. You don't seem to have any trouble out of it. Oh, well, tell Eddie I said happy birthday. Yeah, Sean's birthday was Monday. I've been all out of it a little bit because we had to go to Morgantown with Jason, but all things turned out great. I'm glad of that. Daphne, hey, Hanny. Yeah, I like acrylic pouring. Now, this is my idea. This has nothing to do with what I'm going to do this evening, but just so Stephen can give me some input as to which ones he thinks I should do first. Because I'm also going to use this for my Try It Tuesday video. So, because we did a couple acrylic pourings, but then we went on to something else. And me and Mandy really liked that. So, we are going to do pour over a vase onto a canvas and hopefully have all of those colors to marry into making like a little set. So you can hang on the wall and set the vase in front of it. I'm going to attempt to do it on some beer bottles. Sean had some extra beer bottles, and I thought, I want to try that. I'll see how that does. I want to do it on some seashells, on a box. I got some wooden boxes from Michael's 2 or 3 years ago now that they were Christmassy ones. They had like where kids could color on them and stuff. So I'm going to try to cordon off the bottom half of it, an acrylic pour on the top half of it, and then the predominant color paint the bottom. That's just a few ideas. So if anybody has any other ones, please send them to me, because I will be doing that for Try It Tuesday all the way through the month of May. I just finished up cricket on Try It Tuesday. Yeah, happy birthday, Ed. How old's he now, Stevie? I hadn't seen it on seashells either. I've seen painting on rocks. I'm not sure how well that's going to go, but you know what? I'm up for the task. They said basically you just put these things, when you're working on them, put thumbtacks in the bottom of those little, look like push pin thumbtacks, not the flat ones. And that way you set your project up off of the thing where the paint will be pouring down through there. So it should make a relatively good thing. Those ones we did before turned out really well. So I don't see why it wouldn't do good this time. But anyway, back to what I decided to do for today. I just went through looking for interesting facts on West Virginia. The first one, well, it was the first one I come up with. I don't know that I would have put it first in line, but since it is, and I don't want to repeat a whole bunch of stuff, it says that West Virginia has one of the oldest populations in any state, with a median age of 42.7. So I thought all the retirees moved to Florida. I guess there's some of us that just old school people just stay here in West Virginia, and there's a lot more of us here than what I thought there was. I ain't telling you the second one because it says we rank the second most obese people, which, that's probably true. Okay, this next one is that West Virginia was admitted to the Union on June the 20th, 1863, by a proclamation signed by Abraham Lincoln. I don't know how I thought we got it to be a state without some kind of something from the president, but it just never dawned on me that he actually signed a proclamation that said, hey, we're a state now. So I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, tourism is our biggest industry. It's not been as busy as it has been in the past, not with like the rafting. Rock climbing is still extremely popular, but it's not really with rafting so much. So there's still a lot of people go out there and in the summer, but it used to start in first part of April and go on through the end of October. But you see at the beginning stages and ending, not near as many people. And with the economy the way it is, hi Tony, they might be a whole lot less people here doing touristy stuff, which is not good for our state, but we'll see. Of course, our nickname is the Mountain State. They also have also been called Colorado of the East. Is the Colorado where the Grand Canyon is? Well, that makes sense to me because they always did call us the Grand Canyon of the East. So that must be where the Grand Canyon is in California. Okay, West Virginia, a lady here in West Virginia, gave us Mother's Day, which was celebrated. She celebrated her mother with a ceremony, and then it quickly became worldwide. So that's how we got. I have her name on through here, but yeah, she's the one that gave us Mother's Day. I think it was in 1901 or 1902. So it's really not been that long that when you grow up having them every single year, Mother's Day, Father's Day, everything like that, you don't really think of, well, when did they start? You just assume they were always here. But of course, they weren't. And it says the state's known for whitewater rafting, which it is. It does have a very big reputation in the rapids that we have on the New River and the Gauley River. And they open up the dam every so often that they can go down towards Gauley Bridge area with the dam fueling the rapids down that way. I'm not sure I would. I was caught in the rapids down there one time when they opened the dam. I'm not sure that I would want, well, I wouldn't want to do it anyway, but thrill seekers would love it. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Steve, Eddie's 34? I'm getting so old. I can remember when he was just teeny tiny. Well, Ed was never teeny tiny, but when he was little. Oh, I'll bet that'll be beautiful, Janet. I'll bet that will be beautiful. Hey, Mandy. Oh, it probably is, Jan Sue, why we're called the Colorado of the East. They probably do have whitewater rafting out that way. It says, West Virginia is the 39th most populous and the 41st most extensive of all 58 states. So I guess that's where we rank, 1 to 50. It's located in the Appalachian. We're the only state located in the full Appalachian Range. That's why we got the name Mountain State. We originally named Virginia. I'm assuming this is Virginia, and then we split off, not necessarily just West Virginia. But it says West Virginia is named for Queen Elizabeth I of England, the Virgin Queen. That it says, did you know that Virginia split into Virginia and West Virginia due to political differences? Yeah, we live in West Virginia, so we know that. The split happened in 1861. This I did not know. And we didn't become a new state until 1863. So we were already split at the beginning. The reason we split was because half of the people wanted to be Northern sympathizers, half wanted to be Southern sympathizers. So in Virginia, so thus in West Virginia. And somebody says in here, somebody still calls us Western Virginia. They do. I have been, I'll tell them where I'm from, and they'll say, oh, Western Virginia? No, sir. West Virginia. We have our very own name. But, you know, if they had the capital, it says capital Woes, which means that Wheeling was the first capital. And then they decided on Charleston. And when it became a state, they went back to Wheeling and then back to Charleston. Charleston makes better sense because Charleston is centrally located in the state to where, but I don't know. Originally, West Virginia's original name that they wanted to call us before everybody voted on keeping Virginia part of it was going to be, I'm assuming they would have pronounced it Kanawha instead of Kanawha because it would have been named after the Indian tribe that lived here. And I don't remember having a Kanawha Indian tribe. But I have heard of the Kanawha Indians. It says the first royal free, that means the first people that had a mailbox out that didn't get charged for. The mail delivery started in the United States in Charlestown, not Charleston, Charlestown and the Halltown and Uvalde on October the 1st, 1896. We've only had our mail delivered. See, those are the things that I don't think about because they've been around my entire lifetime. But, you know, even in Granddaddy Hankins' time when he was born, they wouldn't have rural delivery. I'm assuming you'd have to go in town to the local post office and pick up your mail. That's an interesting concept to me. Because people, I really honestly think people, hi Barb, people that don't think about stuff that happened before they were born, unless it's something bad that they want to obsess over, don't give it much credence. They just think because it's now going on, it's always went on. Just think of all the struggles that our family had to do back, Granddaddy was my Granddaddy Hankins. So his parents wouldn't have had mail delivered to the house. They would have had to win out all the time. That is, provided they got any mail. And I'm sure there was somebody with mail. But back then, they didn't deliver that much mail unless it was important. And if you got a letter, it was either from somebody that you cared deeply about or some bad news. So, they didn't really have to have too many. They didn't have to have the big fancy post offices that they got now, you know. And why anybody goes to the post office and gets a post office box? I quit paying for mine because it was like $60-some a year to buy a post office box when I get my mail delivered down here for free. I just don't give out my address unless I know you. The National Radio Astronomy Observation, that's the one up at Green Bank, has the world's largest steerable radio telescope. When me and Tim went up to Taggart Lake for our 35th wedding anniversary honeymoon, we stopped by the Green Bank Observatory on our way back. That thing is massive. And it is true, about 50 or more miles around there, when you go in there, your cell phone will not work. There ain't no sense in thinking you're going to have some better service than somebody else does or whatever. It just won't work. They lock them all out. So it doesn't matter how good your service is everywhere else. It will not work in Green Bank. But it's a beautiful place to go visit. I'd love to take the grandkids up there. I think they would really be in awe of all the things that you can see in the sky through those telescopes. I'm hoping that they're keeping an eye that no hidden asteroid comes in and pops us on the head on the side. It says in 1960, a little fella by the name of Danny Heater, a local student, was entered into the Guinness Book of World Records after scoring, now get this, 135 points during a high school baseball game. Now this is in 1960. 1960. He was able to score 135 points. That is crazy. No cell phone, no micro, no. Yeah, Pony Express. You would be waiting for that little fella. If he started running up your driveway, you'd be standing out there with a glass of water and probably a sandwich and everything else saying, "What you got for me? What you got for me?" Or, "Do I really want to know what you got?" That would be the biggest thing. Would I really want to know? Somebody sent me a letter. Is it going to be bad news or good news? Am I going to have to make a big old long trip that you can't make? Like today, you get in the car and you go. Like it's 4 hours for us to get to Christie's, which, you know, is nothing compared to Timmy has to drive that to and from work every week. But back in the day, that same 4 hours would have took them a mighty long time. More than 4 hours. Probably wouldn't. It would have took more than 4 hours to get from Anstead to Charleston. So we are living through a very lucky generation. I wish more people would appreciate the luck that we have versus sitting around with their sour faces on all the time, but I can't control that. In 1984, George Ann Wells made history for the state when she successfully dunked during a college basketball game. The feat, which took place at West Virginia University, was special in that she was the first female to dunk. And you know us, well, there's some tall ladies now, but mostly when you're playing, you're just regular height. To be able to dunk a basketball would have been an extremely good feat for her. So, yes, Stephen, and don't laugh too loud. I'm telling you, the family history's coming. Don't laugh too loud. On August the 3rd, 1984, Stephen will like this one, gymnast Mary Lou Retton became the first U.S. woman to win an Olympic gold for the all-around event. That's pretty cool. West Virginia has some really special people that come out of here. And probably if we put forth the effort, there'd be a whole lot more that would come out of West Virginia. There's a lot of people wanting to come into West Virginia to say they're West Virginian. It says the state hosts one of America's oldest and largest burial ground for Native Americans. The site has distinctive features that made it stand out. This cone-shaped burial ground stands at 69 feet high and it has a circumference of more than 900 feet. It is located in Moundsville. It is known as Grave Creek Mound and was constructed by the mound builders. Now, I'm assuming that meant that the first one that passed away, they just put the dirt on them, and then they put the next ones and the next ones, because they wouldn't have been any other way to have made a mound full of a grave that big. Because I think Timmy rode me past that one time. The Battle of Philippi in 1861 was the first battle fought in the Civil War, and it happened here in the United States. I mean, in West Virginia. We weren't West Virginia yet, but it happened here. It also resulted in a victory for the Union. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He talked about Mary Lou Retton all the time. But she was a very good gymnast. I have to say that. She was really good. I think that's what she done, wasn't it, Steve? I'm pretty sure that's what she was. I think she was one of those that... It says about the World War I, Frank Buckles, who was the last surviving veteran of World War I, was a resident of Charleston. He died in 2011. He died in 2011, age at astonishing 110 years old. Gosh, he was. And it says, during his younger years, Buckles had to lie about his age to enlist in the U.S. Army. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mommy and Aunt Geraldine told me Uncle Cliff did the same thing in order to get into the service. I'm pretty sure. In 1926, the first federal prison for women opened in Alderson, West Virginia. It is located on a 500-acre piece of land and is known as the Federal Industrial Institution for Women. I think that's where, what was her name? Martha. Yeah. Martha Stewart. That's where they put her when she got in trouble. Weirton undoubtedly comes with a unique feature. It is the only city in the United States that runs from one state border to another. Its metropolis, I'm assuming that means its city, shares the borders with Ohio to the west and Pennsylvania to the east. That has to be up in that little panhandle thing. For a small state, West Virginia is surprisingly global flavor. It holds a record for the most towns named after cities in countries around the world. You will find Shanghai, never heard of it. Athens, I have. Calcutta, I haven't heard of. Cairo, I haven't heard of. Geneva, I haven't heard of. Berlin, I haven't heard of. And London, I have heard of London. But those other ones, I've never went to those places in West Virginia, but obviously we have cities named after them. The mast of the USS West Virginia now resides on the University of West Virginia campus. This ship was severely damaged during the Pearl Harbor attack in 1941. And it says, when the song West Virginia by John Denver came out in 1971, it became the favorite song of this state. Since 2014, it has become part of the West Virginia list of symbols. Words from the song of John Denver, Almost Heaven, is also a famous slogan of West Virginia. It is just fun to think of it as part of the state. Oh, yeah. I mean, we didn't. It was West Virginia Hills before he come out with that one, but that was a more updated, more familiar, more easily sung, more. But still, our official song is West Virginia Hills, but they do acknowledge Almost Heaven. It says old-time trades can be learned at Harper Ferry National Historical Park. These trades include cow milking, dressmaking, blacksmithing, and many more. I don't know that I could trust a cow enough to get underneath it to milk it, unless it was between me and no milk. Which, if anybody knows me, I don't like milk anyway. But my husband loves milk, so if it had a cow and had to milk it, so he'd have milk, one of us would be milking that cow. The state's first glass-making plant was established in Wellsburg in 1813. Can you believe people have been in West Virginia way before that, but definitely since then? I'm trying to catch up on your old stories. Okay, let's see. The first ever dime store. Everybody remember them calling them the nickel and dime store? That's what they used to call a department store all the way back yonder when. That was what you went to, was nickel and dime store. It's now just called the dime store. But the first ever dime store started right there in Harrisville, West Virginia in 1908. It was known as Bardine's Five and Dime and is still operating. Yeah, that's what they used to call Five and Dime store. I think it's because it was usually a nickel or a dime, and that was still probably after the turn of the century, because before then you was lucky if you had a nickel. The popular fruit of West Virginia, the golden apple, originated in 1905 in Clay County. It all started on the Mullins family farm. I guess they bred it or hybrided, whatever it is Grandpa Tony always did, where he took one limb off of one and made a notch and put it in there. I never tried that, but Timmy said it worked for Grandpa. Early in the year 1921, Charleston burned to the ground. I did not know that. That was when the town just started and only had about 4 buildings. That was in 1921. How did it become the capital of West Virginia when in 1941, 60 years after we become a state, it only had 4 buildings in it? That's interesting. After the destruction of the first downtown Capitol building, it took nearly 11 years to dedicate a new one. In 1932, the new West Virginia Capitol building was completed. It says the dome atop the West Virginia State Capitol building is nearly 300 feet high. The 292 feet height is just over 4 feet higher than the dome in Washington. The first red brick road was in the United States was laid in Charleston in 1873. A Charleston resident by the name of Mordecai Levi wanted to change the condition of hard-packed dirt streets in the city, and he paved the Summers Street in Charleston with bricks and later got a patent for the paving method he used. That was pretty cool. That's how we get brick streets, I guess. At 700 feet, the Phil G. McDonald Bridge, located in Beckley, I do not know where this is, but it's located in Beckley, West Virginia, is the tallest truss bridge in the world. So now we have 2. We have the New River Gorge Bridge that's like second or third in line for the most famous, and the one over in Beckley that nobody'd ever heard about. But it's the tallest truss bridge in the world. Well, Timmy, we'll have to go look that one up, bud. Take a little short on it. The New River Gorge Bridge, which is situated in Fayette County, measures 3,030 feet in length. Just think, guys, when you drive over that bridge, it's 3,000 feet from one spot to the other one. All we can hope is it never falls in the middle. That would be terrible. And then the West Virginia state flower was chosen through votes of public school children. The governor had picked out several different flowers that he would like to be the state flower, and he took it to, which I think is a great idea. They should do more of that. Took it to the kids in the school, and they voted, and we come up with rhododendron. Okay. West Virginia hosts one of the world's oldest river, we're second to the Nile, which meanders through the state, headed towards Virginia. Now, that's not true. That's not true. I don't know who wrote this, but the New River heads from Virginia down to Gully Bridge and then into the Ohio River and into the Mississippi River. Now, I don't know who wrote that particular sentence, but I'll have to do some research on that because I'm pretty sure the New does not head towards Virginia before reaching North Carolina. It starts in North Carolina, comes up through Virginia, and then goes down through us. So, whoever wrote this particular thing, if you're listening, you might want to either correct me or correct your statement. Because that's what I've been told my whole life, that it starts in North Carolina, flows up through Virginia, and then goes through all the way through West Virginia into the Kanawha River, where the Kanawha River meets up with the Ohio River, and then the Ohio River meets up with the Mississippi. Yep, it flows north. You're right. It does flow north. Okay, I've already done that one. Outdoor advertising. This is cute because I remember back in the day. I don't know how many of you all can remember this, but we went up to where Uncle Ed's family was. We went up for a picnic or something up there. I don't even remember where it is. Timmy knows where it's at. But on the side of, that's how you knew how to get to Uncle Ed's parents' house, because on the side of a barn, it had the chew mail pouch printed all over it. And it said that that advertisement started in Wheeling when the Bloch Brothers Tobacco Company painted bridges, barns with treat yourself to the best chew mail pouch. It said that they just went around, they had people go around and find all of the barns that could be seen from an area where you could see it, and rent the side of the building to put a big banner on for their tobacco products. It says West Virginia is located within a day's drive from 75% of the U.S. population. Now, I didn't know that. So if you wanted to drive to 75% of the states in the United States, you could do it within a day from West Virginia, to flip that backwards. The largest sycamore tree in the world was located in Webster Spring until it fell in 2010. Did anybody hear that? Was that on the news anywhere? No. When it was established to be over 500 years old. Can you imagine counting those rings? How did it take you a while count them all up? Okay. So I think that, now I got a couple more. It says, this is about a first African-American female legislator in West Virginia. When her husband died in the middle of his legislative term, Minnie Buckingham Harper took his seat by unanimous appointment. She was the first African-American woman to serve in any legislature in the U.S., showing the growing interest of women and African-Americans in politics. Doesn't say when she served, just that she did. More notable people in West Virginia are Terry Bowden in athletics, Jennings Randolph in popularity, He has a road somewhere around here. Homer Hickam in science. T.D. Jakes in religion. Don Knox and Kathy Mattea in entertainment. And Alex, I cannot pronounce his last name, Schoenbaum in business. That's pretty good people. And then, of course, we're going to talk about underneath the Greenbrier. There is one of the bunkers that was supposed to be kept completely and totally secret. And it was for a long, long time. Even the people that worked there while they were building the bunker did not know the bunker was being built. One gentleman that took us on the tour through it, he said that he worked at the Greenbrier and would go down in the basement, not knowing it was part of the bunker, but would go down in the basement talking to all the fellas down there because he had a good relationship with them. And then he would leave there after work and say, I'm going to go see if I can find the bunker. And he was standing in it. But that is the most scary spot about being in the federal government, because he told us that particular bunker was going to be used for the House of Representatives. 400 and however many people that they got in there now. And what happened is they would arrive by train, because that's how long ago it was. They would arrive by train, then they could bring their wife and 2 kids. 2 kids. If they had 6 kids, somebody else had to watch them. I mean, under a nuclear attack, you either don't go and you go up on treason, or you go and you take a chance with however many kids you had to leave behind. Well, when they got to the Greenbrier, the legislative people were ushered through. They had to go through a shower and then into the rooms. They had all these bunk rooms and stuff. But the wife and whoever kids they took with them, or whoever else they took with them, were housed in the Greenbrier. Now, still, this was not a secure. It was more secure than others, but it wasn't as secure as what the bunker was. So now he's got to be down in that bunker while his wife and kids are up in the spot. Nuclear, if they know where the bunker is, they hit that bunker out. You know the people in the Greenbrier are going to go. So that is when you're thinking about getting into the politics, because there's big money and there's all that stuff. Remember that those people are bound that they have to go if an national emergency comes up, they have to go to their allotted place. And they have restrictions on who can get in there. Their families can't get in there. So now it would be just a bad thing all the way around, really. That's why we hope that everybody can stay and remain safe. We don't have to deal with that. But they do have contingencies in place that keeps the government going. It may not keep us going, but it'll keep the government going, so that whatever is left from the fallout after it all gets done, if America comes up on top, then we have a federal government that's ready to step in and help. Just like on all those shows, when you see all that stuff about disasters hitting the United States and this and that and the other and trying to take everything out, you always have somebody, usually the president or the vice president or somebody else that's in charge, that can come up and be the main talker to get everybody settled back down again. But yeah, the Greenbrier is a beautiful location. We went all the way through the bunker. You would not know where the entrance was. We did not know when they pulled up and opened the door. We didn't know we was there where we were going into the bunker at. We went through the whole thing, the showers that they have to go through, their sleeping quarters, where there's all that other stuff that they had. And then they had what they used for a big ballroom. That was actually a working hub. They had, things locked into the floor, covered up, where they could plug in all kinds of their computers and all that other stuff that they needed to fulfill the government that they were working on. But it was huge. But we walked straight out of there, right straight into the Greenbrier. And you would not know. You would not know that was what it was if he hadn't told us. So You never know what the government is hiding in plain sight. And probably a pretty good reason that we don't, because it's all meant to keep us safe. So, it has been 40 minutes since I started this. Thank you all for hanging on. I hope you all found something. Hi, Arnie. I hope you all found something interesting and entertaining in that. I'm going to sign off now and wish you all a good night. And we'll see you next week with our first acrylic pour. Bye, guys.